Joe Rogan, he agrees with me. Last episode, we spoke about the Maryland man, as they call him, deported to El Salvador, Abrego Garcia. Trump says he's an MS-13 gang member, a bad hombre, if you will. I mean, Trump even put out on social an AI, like a Photoshop picture of this guy's hand. And there was MS-13 across the knuckles, but I think that was clearly Photoshopped. Anyway, this guy's down in El Salvador. Yeah, there it is. We've got it up on the screen. MS-13. The font looks a little different there, yeah. Anyway, this guy's senator from Maryland, Chris Van Hollen, went down for a photo op to El Salvador. No discussion between the two of them about his gang affiliation. Imagine that. The senator goes down, meets with this guy who's an alleged MS-13 gang member, and never once asks him about it. Hey, can you just, between us now there, assure me that you aren't affiliated with MS-13? Give me some information as how I can fight this for you. Never even asks him about it. He says, I'm not vouching for the guy's character, or never was. This is about due process. Well, I agree in that on that front of due process. But I mean, while you're with the guy, you might want to ask him a few questions, do your own investigative work, maybe a little curiosity about the dude's affiliation. The Supreme Court on Saturday issues an order to cease deportations without due process. And look, as they should. I'm all for rounding up gang members and deporting them to the mega prison in El Salvador, but I mean some evidence beyond the Bulls jersey and hat, which I guess MS-13 gang members like to wear, would be helpful to the cause. Because taking Trump's word for that or anything is not enough. He's not the most credible. Remember, I've told you this a million times. Trump has famously said to me when I was asking him some questions about the liberties he takes when reporting the ratings on The Apprentice way back in the day, he would say, Billy, don't worry about that. Stop asking about the ratings. Who cares if I'm in the top 10 or the top 20? You just tell people and they believe you. I'll never forget him saying that to me. Garcia, this guy, Abrego Garcia, was definitely picked up with a bunch of alleged MS-13 guys. They all had the Bulls gear on. Not a good look. I mean, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, maybe it's a duck. Definitely not a good look, but is it full evidence? No. Do you need some kind of evidence? I think so. Due process is in order. Here's what Joe Rogan said on that front.
The overcorrection is round them all up, ship them to jail. That's some things that you say when you're not thinking things through. What do you do about all the criminals? Take them all, fucking send them to El Salvador.
Yeah.
What about due process? No, fuck that. But here's the problem with fuck that. What if you are an enemy of, let's not say any current president. Let's pretend we got a new president, totally new guy in 2028. And this is a common practice now of just rounding up gang members with no due process and shipping them to El Salvador. You're a gang member. No, I'm not. Prove it. What? I got to go to court. No, no due process.
Yeah, I mean, look.
That's dangerous, Joe.
Right. I mean, Rogan said we need to make sure we don't become monsters while we're fighting monsters. I think that's a good point. Let me see something. Let's see some type of evidence and then get that sucker out of here, and all of them. Get him out of here. But I like seeing Rogan push back against MAGA loyalists on this front, because the MAGA loyalists, the deep core people for whom common sense is on permanent suspension, the all or nothing crowd, the nuance free crowd, the screw the FBI, F the CIA crowd. We need those organizations. I hope Kash Patel doesn't fire everybody, but standing for due process is not caving in to the left. It's standing up for a core principle of democracy, the right to a fair trial, where the presumption of innocence and the burden of proof is on the government. You got to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. These are all things, these 5 tenets that core stuff. It's what the country was built on. So I just love the fact that, he calls it out. Some of these podcasters who are sucking up a little bit, they don't acknowledge it. They're so busy playing to the MAGA loyal that we're not, embracing nuance here. If it isn't right, you got to say it isn't right. Let's turn to Party Boy Pete. Kind of knew this was a bad idea, didn't I? Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, does it again. A second Signal chat group, which included about a dozen people, including his wife and his brother, all on the same one. This one details specific times of the airstrikes on the Houthi rebels in Yemen. Two Signal chat groups from the Secretary of Defense. Here's what Pete said when he was asked about it.
They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter. So I'm happy to be here at the Easter egg roll with my dad and my kids, because, you know, this is what we're doing it for. These kids right here. This is why we're fighting.
Look at his dance. He never answers the question.
This is why we're fighting slash and burn Democrats. This is why we're fighting.
Were you in a? Did you have another Signal chat group with your brother and your wife and all these other people? You're excited, like, oh my God, I was the weekend anchor of Fox and Friends. And not the weekday, the weekend anchor of Fox and Friends. And I'm like, Secretary of Defense now. This is amazing. Like, hey, to my brother, oh my God, John, you're not going to believe this. We are going to wipe out these Houthis in about 10 minutes. It's so insane. Send. I mean, it's exciting when you're totally not prepared and not qualified to be Secretary of Defense. That's exciting to go tell your buddies. That's awesome. But you didn't answer the question, and you need to. Did it happen again? Were you in, now you've got a group of 12, and I understand the NSA advisors and Tulsi Gabbard and, you know, and Waltz and all the others that are, you know, J.D. Vance in that group. Wasn't great that you didn't use secure government communication, that you used the Signal app, but, you know, those are the right people to be communing with. But if you did it with your buddies and you know, on a separate chat, you got to answer that question, because then again, it's not forgivable behavior. It's not even, a real Secretary of Defense wouldn't even think to do that. So today, Trump himself was asked about it. His response was, ask the Houthis how he's doing. Oh, because we crushed the Houthis. But, you know, a bunch of guys in rafts, you know, rowing around. The Houthis are like, if America can't take the Houthis, you know. Okay. I mean, Ukraine has been holding off Russia for 3 years, and they're tiny. Now we've been helping them. Senators Schumer and Tammy Duckworth, who's an Iraqi war veteran herself, have called for Hegseth to be removed immediately. If you want to be nice, if there's a big strike three, and there's already two, then he's got to go. He's the least qualified Secretary of Defense I think we've ever had. James Carville. Let's tune to our old guest. We had James Carville on a few weeks ago. He turns his attention on someone who's been getting a lot of heat, Bill Maher. Bill Maher's still getting heat. He says, Carville says that Bill got had by the Trump charm. Now, let me just, before we go any further, the Trump charm is overwhelming. It is very, very powerful. I'm a man who's been had by the Trump charm, as you may remember. In like the Icarus effect, it came back to burn me. It's burned many people, but being in Trump's presence is beyond entertaining, and you get sucked into the vortex very easily. Supremely naive is what Carville called Bill Maher. Was Bill Maher had? Do you think? Not to me. To me, he got it absolutely right. I mean, Bill said, does a crazy person live here? No. A guy who plays a crazy person on TV sometimes sure does, for sure. Bill gave the most accurate description ever of Trump. In the 13-minute monologue when he talked about his dinner with Trump, to his face, he was critical. There's Dana White. Look, if you're looking at the picture, Dana White, Kid Rock, Trump, Bill Maher, and some other guy. Who knows who the other guy is? But Trump's glowing in the middle. Bill Maher sitting right next to him. And it's okay. How can there be, is that our Chuck LaBella? Chucky's here in the control room, is he? Chuck LaBella? Chuck, get in here. Where's Chuck LaBella? Howie Mandel. There's Howie in the control room. Wait, Howie, that's Chuck LaBella?
Where?
Right here.
Chuck LaBella was at the dinner with Trump and Kid Rock?
He's sitting right there. I'm going to bring him. Keep that picture up. Keep that picture up.
Get that dinner picture up here. Oh, my God, the Last Supper. That just hit me. Why didn't you guys tell me before that was Chuck LaBella? Holy mackerel. Chuck, you were at the dinner with Bill Maher. So anyway, what I was defending Bill Maher over is the fact that he was critical to Trump's face. Everyone can be critical to his, against, behind his back. Everyone is. But if you're going to stand in front of someone and be critical, it's a different story, right? You want to, have a little more. There's Chucky right there. Oh, my gosh. Look at the far left of the screen next to Bill Maher. The great talent producer, Chuck LaBella, who booked The Apprentice. There's Chucky right there.
He books dinners, too. Take off your glasses.
Chucky, let's see. Oh, it's Chuck. Chuck, get close to that microphone. Tell me, was Bill Maher totally yuckety, like sucked into the